Hello everyone, this is Dr. Aditya Patil again coming in front of you after an year when we had initially made a video about pandemic, and at that time I was in my posting in the tribal area of the state of Maharashtra. Uh, After a long time working in the sector, probably 1 year, for the bureaucrats, they would think that 1 year is a really less experiences, but it depends upon how are the situation and circumstances coming up, which can make a 1 year experience also an experience of 100 years if you try to build up and if you try to put yourself into it and understand the system and how it works. Well, the agenda for today's video session is understanding about are we really secure enough to take the career of this homeopathic field and to bring up our own self into tomorrow's new generations and the future consequences, and to have an immunity against our own life in uh, immunity in the sense of economy, immunity in the sense of having your priorities about your dreams and achieving it. Well, it's really a tough call right now. Why? Because recently there has been an the Ministry of Finance has announced the budget allocations, and if you try to compare it with the modern medicine, that is with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare's, Ministry of AYUSH has been allotted with 2,970 crores. Okay, while as compared for the vaccine developed nations, there are almost 35,000 crores has been inbuilt for the development. Uh, it's really a questionable point that out of 2,970 crores, how much would be coming up with the homeopathic faculty in of it, as there are a lot of chains in between, like we have a Central Council for Research in Homeopathy, then we have the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia Laboratory in Ghaziabad, then we have about the National Institute of Homeopathy, National Institute of Ayurveda and Homeopathy about in the Northeast. So these are our prime statutory bodies. And currently we have the this National Commission for Homeopathy, which is currently a Ministry of Ayush peoples are recruiting for the post of the president, vice president, secretaries, joint secretaries, all enough. Well, these are some of the centralized schemes, and about the central sector, what currently is going on. All the coverage you would be able to get on the Press Information Bureau of these in the National Informatics Cells of this website itself. Okay. Yeah, but another most important point, what is going on in all other states and the Union territories is when they are talking about the vacancies in the government setup. Do you really feel that the homeopathic practitioners are they getting a sustainable amount of economy and the amount of exposure in the sectors of tertiary cares and primary health care centers? If we try to understand the healthcare delivery system of India, basically there lies the district health officers coming up with the community health officers, and then with the medical superintendent, precedent with the primary health centers of the MOs. So there is a long chain in which the placements of the particular sectors for the development of the healthcare systems in related to India, particularly to the states and with the Union territories, with the civic rights has been demonstrated, and you can guess all this data in the when you will go and have the public healthcare delivery system about how it works in India. Well, the point of discussion comes up is a lot of people today in the market, they are having a discussion with the National Rural Health Mission Scheme, that is NRHM, or you can say National Health Mission. and National Urban Health Mission schemes, that the vacancies for the homeopathic fraternity is not been given at an utmost layer about it. Well, there are first two things you need to understand. Number one is the NRHM or the NURM or the NHM. This comes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, so this doesn't have as such any enrollments for any directions towards the Ministry of Ayush. It's about whole program is designed by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So currently the directors and all the bureaucrats of the MoHFW has the rights to put up the vacancies. What here people are expecting is they need some of the legal remedies to put up the vacancies in the tribal sector or in the government sector of the states of the Maharashtra and all other states, like we have Madhya Pradesh, then we have the Rajasthan, we have even the Goa, then we have the Daman and Dius, we have Pondicherry, a lot of places out there. We have West Bengal and this. Well, the papers on papers, the execution bodies are working in the finery positions, but when it comes towards a reality, we can say that as compared to the post available for the medical officers with the modern medicine and with the allied sciences, over the 6 months of time span, even today, when you will go and visit the advertisements of the one which were recruited in January 2019, then in January 2020, and then in January 2021, you will be able to see that there seems to be a non-linearity in the post of the homeopathic practitioners or the homeopathic medical officers. Okay, recently we can see that the Union Public Service Commission UPSC has enrolled some of the results out there. Well, first, congratulations for all those who got selected. But those posts were specific for the Delhi government itself. If you try to understand, the postings were with the NCT. Okay. Another question is when there are almost, you can say from the state of Maharashtra, if you try to understand, almost 70,000 plus practitioners are getting up registered in the Maharashtra Council of Homeopathy, number one. Number two, there are almost currently 37 colleges who has been given permission for the admission intake of 2021. Almost 22 college has not been granted the permission. Okay, so that process is still under the hearing. So we don't know what exactly the statistics are going to come up after the coming up times. But if you need to understand that ideally in per college there is an intake of 100 students, depending upon 50 or 100, approximately in average if we take it, it's about 75 students you can see per year getting admitted in a particular college. Okay, so every student has a dream. Okay, probably there might be different consequences or circumstances which the students won't be able to understand when they are getting admitted for such courses of the medical, because they didn't knew that what ahead there's going to be. The more they go into deep, then they can come to know that what exactly the things can be changed, what can be done, which field to be choose, which field not to be choose. Majorly when we try to communicate with some of the seniors, some of the bureaucrats, some of the experts, and also some of the ones who have changed the field, they have a lot of impact on their personal careers. Why? Because very few, you can say, have been in the field of homeopathy, number one. Number two, the field has been more of a diverse situation. There are a lot of things that need to be understood when we are working in healthcare sector, particularly pertaining with the disease scenario. The impact of the treatment needs to be analyzed as on the basis of cost effectiveness, number one, number two, life expectancy, number three, the mortality rate, and number four, about this transactions of the communications of the disease, about the status. So it differs when the programs are built on the non-communicable diseases and when the programs are built on the infectious diseases. The humble appeal right now is currently the all the bureaucrats and all the respected members, the presidents of the councils, all are taking meetings. They are putting up their posts in Facebooks and they are trying to put up that currently they are going to come up with some new seats, some new vacancies, and they're going to increase it on. But let me give you some of the warning signs that what happens, the messages which are delivered on the social medias, basically they don't show any particular directions when we try to implement it in on a generalized basis or a platform, and when we try to put it up in front of the public, means PIL, public interest, and when we try to put up in some of the agendas pertaining to the councils about how can this scenario can be changed. Okay, but this is really a tough call that we all need to analyze, that really if such fields which are coming up, and specifically in the pandemic, if we are still getting a lot of a setback, you can say, because majorly right now, as you can see, from past 2020 January till the December, a lot of post has a comparative of the BMS and BHMS. You can understand this. Even BUMS and even the Siddha also. Okay, even yoga also. Means for every in the pandemic situation, MBBS were there, but comparatively, they had also given an option for a BMS, BHMS, BUMS, and Siddha also getting it. But what happens is, when there is a risk, when there is a situation of the national emergency, at that only time, why the people are giving opportunities for the Ayush people. My first appeal is really regarding this situation, because not only in emergency, but in other cases also, we the Ayush people, specifically with Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Homeopathy, Siddha, we all, when we try to unite, we really have a calibration. So there must be a positive outlook over also each and every time when we try to address some people, when we try to have a conversation or a communication with some of the bureaucrats, we come to know that still the situation which was put up in the panel of 2010 of the discussions with the council members are same in 2020. What are you expecting in upcoming 10 years to bring some change, or or we are just trying to ignore the problems? The reality is, these things in India, as being a democracy, a lot of the bureaucrats or the particular panels are getting elected by the vote of the peoples, by the practitioners. Specifically speaking to with the homeopathy, that when we have the presidents or the elections out there, specifically of the MCH or this, the practitioners are out for the vote. Number one. Number two, when it comes toward the central council, there are the government panels based on the experiences and on their credit scores. They has been get elected and they've been promoted. The scenario lies is, execution is an important part. People come, people go. Service comes in, service goes out. But what is important is the situation that needs to be changed. Bringing up figures of the economic value, that is putting up that in the initial years, 2,293 crores has been raised with 2,790 crores. There is an increase of 400 crores. Okay, but do you really feel that this improvement in the statistics of the economy is going to change the statistics of the upcoming future of the budding homeopaths, of the practitioners, and of the citizens of India who are currently eager in taking the healthcare delivery system? Well, each system has its own scope and limitation. I won't go that right now because that will divert all our topic. But today, today's aim of having a conversation with you people is that really we need to identify that in upcoming 10 years or 5 years, the field which we are taking it. So how strongly can it be, sustained in the market? As we can see right now, a lot of research papers are coming out with the healthcare delivery systems, and appreciating, even WHO is appreciating that the largest vaccination has been done through the India, as and also has been exported with some of the vaccines out of the country. But this makes really an important part to all of us to know that in upcoming times, do the academic institutions who are conducting the research, than who are conducting clinical trials. How many homeopathic trials has been registered with the clinical trial registration in India? That need to be understood. Only the apex board is currently running up with a lot of positive impact, and they have the machineries, they have the man resources also, and they have a directions. But how many of the institutes try to cope up with them? We need to know that in upcoming times, the students are getting cleared up with the NEET exams. There is a lot of intellectual power coming up in this system. But if particular recruitment bodies of the teacher and the teaching panel is not updated with this scenarios, then I think so that will be a catastrophe of the future of the students, because in upcoming times, probably in 2025, we will be expecting that there must be some of the reform changes brought, not only on the basis of the contractual post, but there must be a permanent post allocated in every primary health sector. Well, these situations are really a diplomatic when you try to have conversations with the bureaucrats in bringing up the central and state programs intact with it. But if we all try to have a positive outlook, and if we all try to be optimistic and try to give our best in understanding the system and the delivery care, we can come up with some of the agendas and protocol that would help the council and the state to build up healthy relations. The thing is, it's the time that homeopathy is always tested, and when it comes to the survival, that is really an eagermost point to understand, because uh, it's really a hard to accept the facts that a 5.5 year course can bring you a lot of expertise in the field, existing with the 30 years experiences of the field peoples who still are in a chaos about what to bring changes in the reforms. So this was some of the eye look from my side. If you people feel anything, you can just comment it out. Just after a long time, I thought of sharing with you people about the personal experiences and all. This video doesn't explain each and everything, but this was just a communication with you all, and just to have an address. I just wanted to see how familiar are the same things or the thought process are going up with each and every one about it. So right now, signing up here, this is Dr. Aditya Patil, currently working as a researcher in the field of homeopathy, and also a student of homeopathy right now, because still I'm learning a lot of things about how the constitutional bodies are recruited and how the projects get converted into some of the economic times, and how to build up a lot of research projects out of it. So thank you for it.